What's happening, people? Thank you for joining me. It's Beer Monster O'Clock. And I've been to Home Bargains again. You know what I'm like for Home Bargains. I'm a right little... I won't say that. I've seen a new beer in Home Bargains. This one comes in a 4-pack, so hopefully it's good, because otherwise I'm stuck with 4 of them. It's a Dutch lager. I do like me a lager. So I thought I'd give it a go and let you guys know if I think it's worth you picking this up or not. It's called Hollandia Premium. It's 4.7% ABV. It's quite a nice strength for a lager, that. It's 500ml cans as well. I've got 4 500ml cans for $4.99. So it's cheap as chips, isn't it? $1.25 a can and a nice big can. It's brewed by the Swinkle Family Brewers. What a strange name that is. And, you know, I guess it says it's imported, so it's actually brewed in the Netherlands as well, which is always good to see. Because, you know, there's so many fakes in there that are brewed in the UK. Let's crack it open and see if I think it's worth a buy. Oh, cans just, it's giving me slight Heineken vibes. And it's Dutch as well, so yeah, maybe it'll taste similar to Heineken. Well, let's find out. Chuck her in this Stella Chalice. If it's a new lager I've not tried, I tend to stick it in the Stella Chalice. Just so they're all equal, you know, when I first try them. And it's a nice glass to drink out of. It seems to bring the best out in the lagers. Look at that, you always seem to get a nice, perfect amount of head. And we all like a perfect amount of head. It's a nice bright golden colour. It's not the most carbonated lager beverage I've ever seen before. Gentle carbonation, running up the middle of the glass. Quite slowly. Reasonably big bubbles, which is a sign that it's not the best beer in the world. Nice white head, looks slightly creamy looking. Let's get the nose in there and check out the arenas of Hollandia and see what she's all about, shall we? It smells very like your typical Euro lager, to be honest with you. The typical Euro lager had a smell. It'd be this. It's still like sort of that sweet sort of malt smell that you're not quite sure whether it's actually malt or glucose syrup. It's got that sort of smell about it, you know, which a lot of the Euro lagers are guilty of putting glucose syrup in, aren't they? But it's that kind of corny, hayy farmyard sort of smell with a touch of citrus, very sort of typical of your macro kind of Euro lager. But sometimes, I mean, obviously I'd rather there not be no glucose syrup in my lager, but there are some of these Euro lagers that do use syrup. For example, Holsten Pils, which I actually don't mind it because it's not too overly sweet. You can taste the glucose in there. You get used to it after a while. So yeah, I'm not going to say it's bad before I've even tried it. Let's give it a try, shall we? It's taste test time. Cheers, everybody. Bosh. And if you're from the Netherlands, Christ knows how you say cheers in Dutch. Is my sign going to tell me that information? Unfortunately, it is not. It's rather odd. Do you think it would have Dutch? Let me know in the comments if you're Dutch and you know how to say cheers in Dutch. Schwellig Deutsch. Right, let's chuck it down the neck and see what it's like. Oh, it's cold. Oh, I cheated. I stuck in the freezer for a little while because I've only just got back from Home Bargains about 45 minutes ago. We'll have to go again. It's sort of first impressions is cold. It sort of shocked me. Judging by the feel of the can, it didn't feel that cold, but whoa. Right, let's go again. Remember, it's cold. Oh, brain freeze. Yeah. It's okay. It's not bad. It's a very standard kind of affair, this lager for me. It's definitely drinkable. It's definitely not amazing, but I've definitely tried a lot worse as well, you know. Kind of middle of the road Euro lager, just from that first impression. Tastes just like the aroma really, and not a lot else. It's just got that sweet, initial sweetness at the start, corny, syrupy, sort of glucosey sweetness, which again I'd rather not be there, but so many lagers are guilty of it. It's almost part of the style, isn't it, of a Euro lager. But it is quite sweet. I'm not really a fan of sweet lagers, but it's not that bad actually. It lacks any real bitterness on the end. You just got a gentle bitterness. You got them sweet sort of artificial tasting malts at the start. Little bit of a floral hop, just a little tiny just hint of some floralness, maybe tiniest touch of some citrus in there as well, if you really go searching for it, sort of thing, you know. I do think if you're a fan of your like Helles sort of lagers, your more sweeter lagers, and you don't really like a lager to have a big bitterness on the end, I think you'll enjoy this. I can definitely see how people would like this lager. I don't think it's too bad myself, but I prefer more of a bitter lager. Like, that's just my personal taste. Or if it has got that sort of initial sweetness, I like to have a higher bitterness on the end, just to cut through that sweetness a bit, you know. But some people do have a sweet tooth, and I think this is a lager for those with a sweet tooth, really. It's definitely not the most flavoursome lager. But, you know, I've chilled it to the bone. It's definitely drinkable, and it's refreshing, you know. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, apart from that sweetness. It's one of them sort of ones. Don't know if we've got any ingredients or if it's even in English. Oh, it is actually in English. Oh, bloody eyes. Beer ingredients. Beer ingredients. Water, barley malt, glucose syrup. So it's the third water, barley malt. But yeah, third ingredient. Then hop extract. So yeah, it's not the finest quality ingredients, shall we say. But, you know, it was very cheap. I'm sure it's very cheap in Holland as well, or wherever you're going to find this beer. I think it's just a dirt cheap sort of inoffensive slammer. You know, if you're being really snobby about it, you could say it's too sweet, I suppose. So I'm going to say it's a little too sweet. But, you know, it is what it is. It's just an average Euro slammer. It's okay. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. And at the end of the day, what it boils down to, this was a good deal. 4 cans for $4.99. For that price, if I'm having a bit of a tough week, I would pick up another 4 cans of it. So, you know, that's the sort of, it's not a bad lager. It's just an average lager at a decent price. So I would pick it up again just because of the price. And the big 500ml cans as well, you know. Get 8 of the bad boys for a tenner. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Smash the like button if you enjoyed this review, and hit the dislike button if you think it was shit. Until next one, guys. Bye-bye, darlings.